Dylan,
Here.
Carolyn, here. Harrison, here.
Okay.
Will, here. Adele,
Here.
Akwe,
Here.
Aziza,
Here.
Miriam,
Here.
Mira,
Here.
Afnan,
Here.
Naveen,
Here.
Robert,
Here.
Socket, not here. Swetha,
Here.
Tanvi,
Here.
Tonanzit. Right. Zara, here.
Here.
Brianna,
Here.
Camila,
Here.
Ricky,
Here.
Sarah, Sarah. Okay, that's it for roll call. Okay. Tonanzi, I'm just gonna add you in right now.
And Socket also requested to be excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Harrison.
All right. So moving along, hopefully you all had the chance to review the minutes from last meeting, back when it was before Halloween in October. It feels like it's so far away already. So that is the meeting minutes for October the 26th, 2020. If there is no objection, we will be approving these minutes. Okay, hearing no objection, the meeting minutes for SGA General Body Meeting for October 26, 2020 will have been approved. Moving on to Executive Board reports. So I know there's a lot of text here. I just want to make sure that since I know that the 2021 spring plan is quite long, it's in its entirety, I want to summarize some of the key bullet points for all the senators, as well as anyone who might be watching the recording or live stream. So for spring 2021, it's looking like it's still going to be mostly online. They're estimating around 10%, maybe a little bit more, of in-person or hybrid classes, obviously prioritizing classes or courses that need the rooms or the space, and smaller class sizes. We're going to go up to 35% to 40% housing occupancy with the same testing protocol. Dining, obviously, with Brian, they're trying to expand and innovate as always. That the 35 to 40% will be a slight increase. I believe right now we're at about 20 to 30%, something in that range. Dana Library, here are the hours. So for spring 2021, it's going to be 10 to 21 o'clock or 9 o'clock, for those of you not familiar with military time, Monday to Thursday, and 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Fridays, closed on weekends. Floors 1 to 3 are open, but group study rooms are closed, and they're offering new services. Please check out their website. Students can reach out virtually to essentially everything you might need. The one-stop virtual office has continued to innovate. So that's just general administrative needs like financial aid, registrar, ABC, which is accounting, billing, and cashiering services, as well as the RUID office. They're really great. I actually lost my ID somehow on my run like a couple weeks ago. They mail it in, you can just pick it up. It's great. There's the Career Development Center, which is still hosting virtual workshops, the Technology Launchpad, and this is really important. This is like sort of the one-stop for technology needs, which are incredibly important in this virtual learning environment. So if you need help with Wi-Fi, if you need to loan technology, anything like that, you would go to the Technology Launchpad. And I believe Vice Chancellor Gunkel and I'm missing the name of the other person we had a meeting with. They mentioned to refer students to that as well. There was an SGA media post last week about it. Counseling Center, as always, incredibly important. The link is below. And Run for Success for general advising. All the links from the Chancellor's Spring 2021 message have been hyperlinked in the agenda. And of course, the CARES team, as always. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Dean Williams is also on this meeting, so I'm sure she can mention more in detail if you guys have specific questions about the offices. So moving along to the legacy. So I just want to start off, of course, everything's on the drive, right? Sorry that my emails have been a little bit delayed. You may have noticed I'm using a new email address, but if you don't see the agenda, please check the drive and message me so I can put it up sooner. I believe our president had a few words to say.
Yeah, thank you. So, I just want to take this moment, like we're talking about legacy, right? We have the like literal sense. Right? We have all these documents and like everything organized by Harris, which is great. But I also just want to take the time to say, like, I appreciate all the work that you're all putting in. That things can get really November, which is really crazy. And like since it's virtual and everything, I don't really see you. I don't really get the chance to be like as personal with you. Just like say my appreciation for all of you. So I just want to say I'm proud of everyone, and I'm really happy with the track that we're on.
Thank you, President. That rings true for all the e-board, all the centers as well, I hope. Thank you for taking time. I know it's dragging a little bit in the semester, but we all really appreciate, I really appreciate, I'm sure the students that you're representing appreciate that you're here trying to advocate for them and support them. I'm talking about advocating and supporting. If you have any further ideas, any staff members that you would like to meet with, please contact the speaker and I. We had the Vice Chancellor Gunkel meeting about Proctor Track and Respondus. So you may have seen the SGA Instagram update. Let me just pull up my notes briefly from that meeting. We started off just talking about their backgrounds, doing a brief introduction before talking about the breach itself and several questions that we had. So the way that proctoring systems work is that they're connected with specific learning management systems. So ProctorTrack was mostly used with Canvas, and Canvas was used more by RBS than SASN. So that's the reason why thank you to RBS Sanders for taking the initiative and sort of pushing for this from the beginning. Luckily, the ProctorTrack breach, which happened on October 13th, I believe, it did not seem to impact any Rutgers Newark students. 2 students at New Brunswick had some unfortunate emails that were sent to them. But at this moment, there have been no Rutgers Newark students data that has been released. We talked a little bit about options with proctoring software. At least from my perspective, they seem very supportive, and Rutgers has been discouraging the use of proctoring software in general, as I'm sure, since we're all students, we know the many issues that it can face. But we also went over some of our concerns. For example, like accessibility issues, technology. But we were glad to hear that only 2,000 student sessions, that's 2,000 exam instances of proctoring software have been used for Rutgers Newark. So really not that many students have been using the proctoring software in general. But obviously, we're going to continue this conversation as they switch over to Respondus Monitor. Respondus Monitor, just so you guys know, it's been used before with Rutgers University Newark. It's with Blackboard, and Respondus does not collect any personal information. So in the case of a breach, like all the information, let me clarify. Even if they breach Respondus Monitor servers, there's no data on the Respondus Monitor servers regarding any of your personal information. All that data is stored locally on Rutgers Newark servers, to my understanding. Obviously, we're going to continue this conversation, talking about pedagogy practices. Hopefully, we can get more student feedback. And yeah, if you're interested in any of these meetings, please reach out to myself and we can figure things out. So parking committee, hopefully we'll hear an update from the senators involved with that. I just received an agenda this morning. Same thing for diversity committee. And I know, talking about supporting students, our vice president had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Anise Thomas this morning. If you're able to share.
Yes, thank you, Harrison. So I met with Dr. Anise Thomas this morning, the executive director of the Health Center, to give some updates on what's going on with them and how they're supporting students during this time. She informed me that the counseling center is still open, and they emailed us actually a list of all the resources that are available on campus currently, and all the hours and dropping hours for students. But they do have video sessions for students who are not able to meet on campus through Zoom. And she said, a lot of students are signing up right now, which is really great because it's good to have someone to talk to during these difficult times. And she said, even if they don't have specific space to speak with them, they can provide them space on campus for them to arrange, a video call or anything. They have meditation every Monday with Mindful Mondays, get students out of the stress vibes from the semester. And last semester, they were implementing the TAO platform, which is a mental health platform for students. It's self-help, so you sign up and it walks you through steps to better your mental health and get you in the right space. But she said it wasn't very user-friendly. Students weren't really using it, so now they're trying to implement the Sunvelo app. She said students can, I'm going to write the name of it in the chat. She said students can download it through the App Store or Google Store, but they will be having a contract with them very soon, so it will be available for free for students who do want to utilize that service. And she did say that there are daily drop-in hours for the counseling center for those who don't want to do therapy or don't want to get too much involved with the counseling center, but have something on their mind for the day and want to talk about it. Just to kind of reduce the barriers between them. And I thought that was really great because, sometimes you don't want to have so many appointments and you just want to talk about something really quickly. So you just get something off your mind, if you're stressed or whatever. So that's really great. And regarding COVID testing, she said the health center is open for students who do want to, get COVID testing. Obviously, all residents on campus get tested weekly for COVID. Using a saliva swab. So basically they either, go to the health center, get it, or they can take the kit home and do it at home and then bring it back at the dropping center. But yeah, so she said there aren't a lot of appointments available at the health center considering, they don't want everyone going in at once. But if they do make an appointment, then they can make that available for them. And then for flu shots, it's by appointment only. Same thing because they want to, reduce the risk of infection and the spread of the coronavirus. But if you make an appointment, then you're able to get a flu shot. And they're actually considering having a kind of flu shot week where students can make appointments that week and go drop by and get their flu shots because with COVID and with the flu shot and everything happening all at the same time, people are getting more susceptible to these viruses and infections. So it's super important that students do get their flu shots. Shots are available for free for all students. Even they can do a simple doctor visit at the health center. Consults are free You don't need insurance for that, but if you do need to do like labs or anything, then you need insurance for that. But they have telemedicine right now, where you could consult with a physician online through Zoom, and those are for free. So yeah, flu shots are for free. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And they have hotlines, of course, and they have WeChats where you can, chat with your peers who are like certified and have gone through training to speak with you about, anything that you might be going through, or if you need to talk to anyone.
Thank you, Vice President. Would you be able to contact Dr. Denise Thomas and I know Counseling Center has been sending out some flyers and everything like that, but if they have any promotional materials, that way we can disseminate that to our senators and the student body?
Yeah, so I actually told her to send me some flyers to promote, and she's also going to send me the information about the flu week so we can, spread it and post it more on our social media. And once she sends it, I will forward it to you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we have a media committee. It's going to be so much fun. Anyways, I did want to add as well, I got my flu shot on campus. There was a little bit of a wait time, and you're actually not allowed to enter just Blumenthal Hall by yourself. You have to first call in, and they do a sign-in process. So allocate like a little bit more.
Is it frozen or is it just me?
No, it's frozen.
Oh,
My bad. Give me 1 second. So sorry, a lot of things open, and I was also running a VPN, so that might have been why the connection was a little bit. So like I was saying, I got my flu shot on campus, but there is a sign-in process to get into Blumenthal Hall. You can't just walk in. So if you are looking to get on campus, give yourself an extra half hour beyond the appointment itself, just to sign in and like with the waiting process. For those of you who are considering counseling services or anything like that, I highly recommend it. I can't speak for other people's experiences, but personally, I found counseling to be really good on this campus. So if you're seeking like individual sessions, there's an intake process. So you fill out a survey online. It's HIPAA confidential, they follow all the regulations. And then afterwards, you can schedule appointments either over the phone or over Zoom. So the wait time to schedule appointments is generally, you want to schedule 1 to 2 weeks in advance. I found it to be really helpful. If you're suffering from any depressive or anxiety symptoms, counseling is the #1 recommended method to sort of like grapple with it and deal with it. And it's proven to be effective by a lot of clinical researchers. So do recommend it. But yeah, let's see. So moving along, thank you so much for sending that link in chat. The SGA General Fund versus the Emergency Relief Fund. Hopefully you senators are somewhat familiar with this at this point, given that we just passed the resolution, giving some more money to the Emergency Relief Fund. Are there any updates from our Chief of Finance regarding the deposited monies?
Wait, but request the floor. I'll speak like some of the main point. Okay, so yeah, he's at work, so he must have had to step away. So we're in the process of moving the 35%, which is almost $34,000. So that leaves us almost $63,000 in the general fund. So that's for this that's what we have for this semester that we can use, and we'll get more money next semester. So he has some dates here for when he'll be drafting the budget semester when we get the new funds. It'll be a rough budget, but the percentages will be the same according to like whatever the number is, and then vote on it in December. And everyone still has their individual senatorial funds. So in this week, in the next week, really think about how we can use this money to support students. I know it's like very limiting, but I don't know, think of like different like investments we can make for the students, or services, different relief that we can provide that's, maybe more specific than like just the overall relief fund. It's because we can't discern like this, like a scholarship for like this like group of students. Like we can't do that because it's the student fee money. But let's be creative in the next week or two and really try to get some stuff done.
Thank you, President. Hopefully if our Chief of Finance manages to step back in, if he has anything to add, he'll be able to. No worries. I think Dylan just covered like the brief dates and $63,000 remaining for this semester. Are you able to add anything, or are there any other details? Okay, thank you very much. So talking about communication, our media committee is active, so very excited about that. Thank you to our media center Aquay for chairing that, and all the other fantastic members. They got a lot of ideas in mind, and I don't want to give it away before they have the chance to report on anything. But hopefully we'll be creating new lines of communication and making it easier for students to reach out, and also, recruiting and engaging from the student body during this time. Without further ado, committee reports. So are there any reports from the Internal Affairs Committee?
Permission to be recognized.
Of course, recognized.
Thank you. So recently the Internal Affairs Committee has gotten involved between the Elections Committee and Judicial Council between an incident that had happened due to an appeal. So we will be meeting later with Dean Williams, Judicial Council, and Elections Committee to discuss the events of what has happened. And yeah, that's it so far. We closed down one of the cases that we previously had, so that has been dealt with, but now we are dealing with this new appeals case.
Thank you, Speaker. Just to clarify a little bit, when we say closed down, like we merely confirmed that the candidate in question was not going to file an official complaint. So we gave a deadline, and it's been a couple of days since then. So the Internal Affairs will not be investigating any violations. Are there any reports from the Elections Committee?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you so much. So as Madam Speaker said, we have been in contact with the Internal Affairs Committee and Dean Williams to talk about certain events that are happening. The election results are in, but we are having one of the election positions was a tie, so we're hosting a runoff for them, and we are in the discussion of whether or not another position will be having a runoff. The student appealed. We didn't, the student did request a runoff. We denied the runoff due to 3 reasons. One being, actually, I will hold off on saying that just until the meeting with Dean Williams tonight. But anyways, we are in the conversations with the Judicial Council and Internal Affairs Committee. So we will have more finalized notes and decisions tonight, and that we will be able to report next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. So yes, the election results have been tabulated by the Elections Committee, to my knowledge, but they have not yet been approved by Dean Williams because of the pending appeal case and runoffs. Are there any reports from the Media Committee?
Request to be recognized.
Of course.
Hello, everyone. Aquay Borte, Media Center. So the Elections Committee met again last week. We've been in continuous continuing discussion on the things that we brought up, our goals for the semester. Thankfully, we've reached out to Dean Pandit. We'll be having a meeting with her shortly. We're currently in the discussion on choosing the particular website creator that we want to use. And we'll be working on the website very soon. So if anyone has any suggestions as to what they would want to see on the website, we're open to have conversations on that. If there are anything that you'd like the media committee to work on, we're also open to have that discussion. And as always, we're working to promote engagement and interaction with the student body. Currently live streaming, no one's really commenting in the live chat, but we're making sure that we're keeping an eye on the chat. So we would inform you if there are any questions or concerns and let you know. All right.
Thank you very much, Media Senator. If there are any questions, just treat it like an incidental motion. We can address it as they arise. Are there any other committees who would like to report? Okay, are there any reports from the Senate? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to old business. So this was a little bit of forgetfulness and missight on my part. While Miriam did have the opportunity to speak a little bit at the previous meeting, we never formally went through her request to be excused. Since this was offered by herself in person, this does not require a second, but it is before the floor for discussion before it moves to, I believe it's simply a majority vote. Let me check that. But yeah, it's before the floor for discussion. Do I hear any discussion on Miriam Williams, CJ Sanders' request to be excused, or resignments, to use colloquial terms? Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, we're going to actually move to, instead of majority vote, just unanimous objection. So if there is no objection, we will be approving Miriam Williams' request to be excused. Okay, hearing none, the association formally approves her request to be excused, and the CJ Senator, not university senator, but School of Criminal Justice senator position is now open and vacant. Moving on to new business. If there's no objection, we will approve the absence of RBS Senator Socket. Okay, hearing no objection, Socket's absence has been approved. Moving along, I believe we have a nomination for the SPA senator position, Satava Williams. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing their name right. The documents were attached to the email. I think they were also included last week. Is there any discussion from the floor or any senator who can elaborate on this matter?
Permission to speak?
Recognized.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about Satava because she wasn't able to make it today, but Apart from her resume and her statement of interest, I've known Sativa since the first semester that I transferred here, and I've had pretty much every single class with her since. So I know her work ethic. I know she's a great student. She's involved with Honors Council as well, and as far as my knowledge goes, she's looking to find a different way to represent students. This is why when I proposed the position to her, she seemed really interested. And just knowing her, like as a person and as a student, I think she would be a really great fit. That's it. I yield my time.
Thank you, Senator. Just a quick question. Does Sativa issue where that is she available for Monday free periods at the very least, and other time commitments outside of that to fulfill the duties of the center? And has she gotten the chance to read over the description and the charter and bylaws?
I'm not sure if she has gone over the bylaws. She was supposed to make it, but I think it was like a health reason that came up. She had to go to a doctor's appointment. So I think that's the only reason why she couldn't make it. But as far as I know, she is aware that the meetings occur every Monday at this specific time.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion from the floor? Once again, the motion before the floor is nomination Sativa Williams to the SPA senator position by Senator Camilla, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case, that is the motion before the floor and open to discussion before we move to a vote. Is there any discussion from the floor? Thank you. I ask that for sake of the live stream, if you would like to speak in favor or against, that you unmute and request the floor. But I do appreciate the support in the chat. Is there any discussion from the floor?
May I have the permission to speak?
Of course, recognized.
Yeah, I think she would be a great candidate. I've looked over her resume and, you know, she looks very, she sounds very good. So it's a yes for me.
Thank you, Senator.
Request to speak.
Recognized.
Yeah, I also approve. I'm also for the how do you call it? Sorry, I'm trying to like figure out the word. But yeah, I approve of it, and I think I also looked at her resume, and I think she would be a great candidate for the position. Given that, in favor of, yes. So I'm in favor of it, and given that we don't have enough people looking to join the SGA, this is a great opportunity for her, and maybe it would motivate other people to be more involved in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Is there any further discussion from the floor? Is there any discussion from the floor? Okay, hearing none, we will now move to a 2/3 vote. Madam Secretary, if you would be able to tabulate the votes. Once again, we're voting on the nomination of Sativa Williams to the spa senator position. If you vote aye, you are in favor of her assuming this position, and nay would be against her assuming this position. Once again, voting on the motion or the nomination of Sativa Williams to spa senator position. Madam Secretary?
Yep. Okay. Tonanzit?
Yes.
Tanvi?
Yes.
Adele?
Yes.
Miriam?
Yes. Yes.
Zara?
Yes.
Aziza? Aziza? Okay. Afnan?
Yes.
Akwe?
Yes.
Socket?
He's excused absent.
Oh, yes. So sorry. Robert?
Yes.
Sweta?
Yes.
Naveen?
Yes.
Mira?
Yes.
Brianna?
Yes.
Camila?
Yes.
Ricky?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Awesome. Aziza,
Sorry, I missed it. Yes, it's a yes for me.
no worries.
Thank you.
So everyone voted in favor of.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. So I think with Aziza's vote, that puts at 16 votes in favor, no votes against. So we do have a 2/3 majority, and congratulations to Sativa Williams, who is our new spa senator. Hopefully the speaker, Dean Williams, and I will be able to reach out and just go over her responsibilities and what SGA looks like and sort of help her prepare for her position. So congratulations. The next matter before the floor is committees. So you may have noticed that it's hyperlinked to a spreadsheet. As it stands right now, I know that informally in the past we have had chair people reach out to other students who may have wanted to get involved in SGA. But I was thinking of the spreadsheet as potentially giving an overview of what each committee does and leaving like a central line of communication. I know the sharing permissions haven't been set yet, but if your committee does establish a common line of communication or a common email, let me know and we can include this on a spreadsheet and have it be open to the student body. Is there any motion from the floor to form a committee? Okay, I'm terribly sorry. In the future, if I skip things on the agenda and you would not like me to do so, please just let me look at the exact motion. I believe it's call to the orders of the day. Call for the order of the day. My apologies. I was looking at the minutes document. But we also had an item recently added. So if one of the senators would like to speak about the, not the RU Dems, sorry, I should say the Progressive Dems request for collaboration. Is there any senator who would like to speak about the Progressive Dems?
Yes. May I be
Okay.
recognized, Mr. Chairman?
Of course. You
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Sarah Shobot, School of Arts and Sciences representative, also Vice President of the Progressive Dems of Rutgers University, Newark. Given that the election date is tomorrow and there is a lot of uncertainty and a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear going on, what the current president's response is going to be with the election results, there is a lot of assumption and fear that he will declare himself the winner, and therefore kind of throwing away all of the democratic practices and precedents that are in place. And there are national movements that are organizing and mobilizing protests and rallies for tomorrow, for Wednesday, kind of as a response that, the people are more powerful than one man, and, democracy will stand. And we, as the Progressive Democrats of Rutgers University, Newark, are trying to organize a rally that will happen on Wednesday at 2 p.m., hopefully in the Sam's Plaza. I know Dean Williams is on this call, so we will be finalizing in details later, but hopefully that is a tentative time and place, and I am requesting the senators' help monetarily and also just support emotionally, just to being there and supporting each other and making sure that our campus is working towards ensuring values and equality and equity for everybody. These are certainly unprecedented times in every single meaning of the word. And there is a lot of fear, especially within Black, Indigenous, and people of colors and communities. So we are trying to make sure that, we are being there and supporting each other. So I do ask that the Senate aids us in some form, way, or possibly, form, shape. If you have any questions, or if you are interested and you want to know how, please let me know. I can put our email, or you all have my phone number and my contact on WhatsApp or email. So I do look forward to hearing from you all. Thank you.
Thank you, University Senator. Is there any discussion from the floor? Any questions for University Senator or regarding the Progressive Dems event? Is there any discussion from the floor regarding the Progressive Dems event? If the University Senate would be able to unmute again, is there a specific time and location that has been set for this? And more specifically, do you have like a budget or an amount that you would like for senators to be able to contribute to support this effort?
So the time is going to be 2 p.m. Wednesday, the 4th in Samuel's Plaza. We will be there to set up a little bit earlier. Again, these are some details on logistics that still need to be figured out with RUPD and Dean Williams. But the location is going to be on Samuel's Plaza, like I said, and the budget is still in question depending on how we are going to be working with security and how much that's going to cost. I can send I will definitely send a more formalized email to the Senate and to the Speaker of the Senate to kind of detail the budget. We have a template because this is not the first collaboration that we've had with the SGA. So we will be following procedure and protocol, if you want to call that, and updating you all with how much it will be costing. And this is also a formal invitation for the SGA to be co-hosting this event. If, we do want to co-host it, then I also request that one or two speakers be provided. I love your outfit. I love your outfit. Oh my God, sorry guys. LOL, I'm at work.
Thank you, University Center. I was wondering if the Chief of Finance would be able to go over the usage of senatorial funds a little bit more in depth. I don't believe any senators have used funds during this current legislative session.
That is correct. As of currently, I haven't heard from any of the senators hoping to use their funds for anything in particular. First, I kind of want to go over just the base of what these funds are actually for, at least the way it was articulated from Dean Williams whenever we were talking about this in our original meetings and discussing the budget, and that it's very important that the senators have these funds to be able to contribute meaningfully to their individual academic areas and schools, also as a way of being able to leverage networking with the different deans and administrators within those schools. Some examples of that being like giving money to help support certain programs that those individual schools are trying to push and get done, things like that. I believe scholarships are on that list as well from talking with Dean Williams. Is she in the call with us currently? Can you clarify that, Dean Williams, actually real quick? If like giving money into a independent school scholarship is okay?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, one moment. Let me just put myself on here. All right, great. So the question, just so I'm understanding, is whether or not senators can utilize their student fees to establish school-specific scholarships. Is that the question?
That is correct. Or to contribute to scholarships already set up by those schools.
So as far as I'm aware, as long as the scholarships are open to all students, there's nothing preventing or restricting that. I think traditionally, though, each school has created criteria as to who is eligible for scholarships. So for example, when we talk about scholarships, usually you have to have a certain GPA, right? And we do know that students, regardless of their GPA, all contribute into the fees. So I think it's just being mindful of making sure that criterion does align with what you all have to do with student fees. So as long as it's open to everyone, there's nothing restricting it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I just know that was a question that was posed to me previously, so I'm really glad that we could get some clarification on that. And then moving more so into the process of how these funds can actually be utilized. The most important thing is that we keep a very cut and dry record of how these funds are used and the exact timeline of how they're used. And it's for this reason that it's very important to speak with me before the fact, before you promise any money to anybody, to let me know that this is something you're planning on using these funds for. And then from there, we'll have to keep all proper documentation for what it was used. That's receipts, if you need to have it refunded to you, or what's best practice is to use purchase orders for whatever it is that you're wanting to do. But whenever the time comes, you can just speak with me and I can help you get all that situated and figured out in terms of purchase orders and submitting the purchase requests and things like that.
Thank you, Chief of Finance. If you would like to use your senatorial funds, please don't just spend $1,000 and then expect recompensation. We're not buying anyone, Apple Watches or anything like that. Keep in mind that this is money drawn from student fees. So try and be transparent about it. Try and communicate in advance. No free dinners, yeah. So yeah, please do reach out to the Chief of Finance so we can set that up. Talking about collaboration, so obviously the senatorial funds is just one way in which we can monetarily support different organizations and events or initiatives. It's the most flexible one, in my opinion. But if there is more advance notice, you all as a legislative body can pass a resolution with a 2/3 vote and just like we did with the emergency fund, dedicate money to some specific cause that might also benefit all students. So if you have any ideas, please write the resolution and send it as soon as possible. So other senators do have ample time to review it and pass it during a Monday meeting. Talking briefly about scholarships, just to give you guys a little bit of context, I know this was a conversation we were having last year within the 2019-2020 legislative session. And part of this discussion was ultimately the reason why we went and created the SGA Emergency Relief Fund. We thought, as a legislative body at the time, that it shouldn't matter what your GPA was if you needed financial assistance, right? And we know that, in fact, that people who see greater basic needs and security often do worse in school, right? And often have greater difficulty meeting everyday responsibilities. So that's part of the reason and rationale behind the current iteration of our relief fund. If you have any questions or if you're curious, please reach out to myself. And all of the legislative documents from last year, to the best of my ability so far, are included in the SGA drive. So please do check that out if you get the chance. Thank you to Senators, thank you to the Chief of Finance. Hopefully we can get some more information regarding that event and collaboration. I encourage Senators to reach out to the University Senator, Sarah Shoba, if they are interested in co-sponsoring that event. We can also have additional discussions with the e-board and media committee about how we might be able to promote the event. We'll now move to the hearing of the SGA. Is there any discussion about anything SGA related from the floor?
May I be recognized?
Of course.
So it's partially SGA related, mostly in the fact that we are all responsible young leaders, and we have to do what we can to look out for what's best for our communities. It's just a reminder to everybody that tomorrow is November the 3rd, Election Day. If you have not already made a plan to vote, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help you make a plan. It does not matter who you plan on voting for. The most important thing is that you get out and you vote so that your voice can be heard.
Thank you, Chief of Finance. There are many different organizations on this great campus that also have been encouraging students to reach out and do so. Progressive Dems, CJ, it's been in the dialogue as it should be. Currently, I'm just going to put in the link for the NJ voter site if you are registered to vote here in New Jersey. On this website, you can find, for New Jersey voters, you can find information about the candidates. You can find resources for COVID. You can also track the status of your votes and find the locations of secure drop boxes. The drop boxes are monitored 24 hours a day by video camera. This is actually how I voted. I just went down to City Hall and I dropped it off in the Dropbox. It was very painless, aside from when they asked me to take a selfie and I didn't have my cell phone because I ran over there. But yeah, it's really secure. I do encourage you to check it out if you have not dropped off your ballot already. And as we're tracking the status of your ballot, the website states it, but there is a little bit of a delay, about like 1 to 2 weeks, because they're seeing a very high volume of votes, which is fantastic. So please do spread that information, make a plan to vote, encourage your friends to vote if they haven't already, text them, be that person, because it's election year and we know this is serious. Yeah. Fantastic. Is there any other discussion from the floor? Is there any other discussion from the floor? Okay. For those of you who are voting in New Jersey, there are some fantastic census questions that are being asked. So the legalization of marijuana was not able to pass through the Senate, I believe, but it's being posed on the ballot at the moment. There's also a question about a tax deduction for veterans, as well as redistricting to wait on the census data that has been delayed because of COVID-19. Also, there are very interesting candidates on the ballot, so please make sure you do your research. The website that I used, that I'm confident is nonpartisan, that does their own research, is ballotpedia.org, and it actually walks you through what your ballot looks like and the questions and candidates on your specific ballot if you just put in your zip code. Studentvote.org, of course, has been promoted by NJ Perg. I not texted in the right chat, but it redirects you to the NJ site, and it also has separate resources in many languages. But yeah, once again, thank you to everyone who is involved in ballot bowl initiatives. We won, by the way. Forgot that to include that in the e-board reports. I don't know how many years running now, but once again, thank you all. Thank you, Progressive Dems. Thank you, everyone who contributed, and everyone who was part of that process. Is there any other discussion from the floor?
A request to be recognized, please.
Of course.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know if I introduced myself well enough, but apart from the work that I do with University Senate and SGA, I also work heavily with NJ Perg. And if you've seen Caitlin, our campus organizer, usually comes to these meetings, but unfortunately today she couldn't make it. She did want me to relay a message with you guys just about the events that we're doing today and tomorrow. As we just talked about, tomorrow is election day, so we have very little time to get people to vote if they haven't already. So what we are doing for today and tomorrow is we're doing a lot of phone banking. So today we're phone banking from 12 to 8, and tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. As a last minute, helping people out, making sure that they have all the resources that they need and information that they need to be able to vote and have their vote counted. So if any of you have any time to spare between today and tomorrow, we would love to have you participate in our phone banking. Caitlin didn't include a link, but she said the easiest way to reach us is through our Instagram. So I'll put the handle in the chat, but if you don't have Instagram, please feel free to reach out to me. Apart from that, we're also having a trivia night today, a voting trivia night from 8 to 9. If anyone's available to attend. Oh yeah, I can say the handle, sorry. It's RUN _ NJPerg, which I'll type in the chat right now. But the trivia night is from 8 to 9. We're doing Kahoot. We've had it before. Caitlin won every single one. So if you're good at trivia and you want to dethrone Caitlin, you're good at history, come. It's really fun and it goes really quick. So if you're stressed out today and tomorrow, this is a good way to de-stress. That's it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, thank you to NJ Perg, who has really been leading a lot of the initiatives for Ballot Bowl, engaging students on this campus. Yeah, follow them if you do not already. They have a lot of great events. Thank you at RUN _ NJ Perg. Is there any discussion from other SGA members or association members? Okay, I'll add on a little bit. I know a lot's going on. I know midterms just ended. I know this was brought up briefly during caucus, but hopefully we can have a game night or something to sort of de-stress and relax an upcoming weekend. I just got Quiplash because it was on sale on Steam. I know our speaker mentioned that she had one of the party packs, but maybe we can get together, play some games, maybe watch a movie. So yeah, we'll send out information and try to figure out a time for that. glad to hear you guys are interested. I know it's more fun than these meetings. Is there any, I'd like now to move to the hearing of the public. Is there any non-SGA members here who would like to speak? I'm fairly sure it's all SGA members here today. Are we seeing any comments from the live stream media committee? Okay, well, that's fine. You know, hopefully they can reach out to our email and our Instagram. So that's runsga@gmail.com. And if they're on the live stream, they likely know the Instagram already. But yeah, do I hear, I think that's about it. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Oh, of course, Chief of Finance.
So sorry to slide this in here at the last moment. I just completely slipped my mind until you said the word adjourn, actually. So I've been noticing on the Rutgers subreddit, a lot of students beginning to talk about a pass no credit option and how they would like to see that. I know that's something that hasn't been a part of the conversation thus far, but as the association, I think it might be something for us to begin looking into and speaking to administration about. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention since that is something that I did see as a student concern.
Thank you, Chief of Finance. Yeah, I like, maybe we can follow up with Dean Williams about this. I know, like, I won't keep you guys. I really want to let you guys early this time. But yeah, definitely something to continue to talk about and probably likely a university-wide push. So yeah, thank you, Chief of Finance. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A second one.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, speaker. Thank you all for your time. If you guys have any questions, any committees, any legislative ideas, please don't be afraid to reach out. Internal Affairs Committee will also hopefully be really getting into the thick of it and suggesting like revisions and just fixing up the rest of our charter bylaws starting next week. Thank you to Senator Mira Desai for sitting on the advisory board. Hopefully we can hear more about that and continue to collaborate with all these administrators and stakeholders. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Good luck with classes. Take care.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Thank you for all your hard work. Have a great rest of your week.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Or else.